So I just arrived to Santa Susana, California, and the Santa Susana train depot and the swap meet put on by the Santa Susana Railroad Historical Society. And so I'm just really excited. The whole way here was full of palm trees and mountains and pine trees and cypress trees and rocky boulders and so much beauty, and it's gonna be a fabulous day. Oh my gosh, I love this hat. Wow, Disneyland Railroad.
Yeah, I got this online. My mom got this one for me for my birthday while we were at Fort Bragg 3 years ago.
Oh my gosh, cool stuff. Well, thank you. What was your name?
Kyle?
I'm Lisa.
This guy right here. This guy had 38 years service on the Southern Pacific Railroad. In that 38-year career, this guy was bumped 17 times. What does that mean? If anybody had more time than you, more seniority, they wanted to work at your location, you were out. You had to go find somebody with less time at a completely different location. I mean, think about it. 17 times this guy was packing his bags and moving someplace else. He couldn't afford to buy real estate, a house anywhere. He didn't know where he was going to be working month to month, year to year. One of the reasons why the railroads furnished the living quarters on the second floor. Worked here, lived here, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Relief crews came out to give you the time off that was required. Santa Susana, family story. Roscoe Laura Sims, worked here, lived here. Now I'm going to flash you back to 1949, show you a picture of Laura Sims sitting in this chair, looking out that window. 1949 in the same depot that we're all standing in today. I can't emphasize that enough. Here she is, 1949. Now in 1942, her husband Roscoe dares her to get a job at the railroad. 42 of the war years, women filling in for the men away during the war effort. She heads to LA. She takes the test. She hires on the same day. And you know where she ends up working? Right here next to Roscoe at Santa Susana. It works that way sometimes. They worked in Moore Park, Chatsworth, Glendale, Reseda, down the main line. They worked here, they lived here, and in honor of the fact that their daughter Barbara was born upstairs, our ticket lady Barbara Sims. So you've met the whole crew. Okay? What was it like to live here in the 40s? Want to go upstairs and see? All right, let's go. Come on down.
You're doing a great job.
So I need you to take your time, be careful, number one. First one on the right, everybody. Okay, that's good. We're kind of in a time capsule right now, right? You guys could just stand right here.
That's what I said when they came in, we're going back in a time machine.
And that's exactly where we are. We're talking about grandmas, grandpas, maybe even great-grandmas, grandpas, right? Now, whoever does the cooking to your chef, the lady of the house, how would you like to cook your holiday meal in that beast right there? Now, most seniors think it'd be a lot of fun, but I guarantee it would be a struggle. We're so used to these electronic gizmos and gadgets that do just about everything for us nowadays. But you know how nice this was to have back in this time frame? We're talking about people that came through a depression and a world war. This is pretty sweet. Time marches on, right? Look at the size of a cup of coffee in these days. Now, it was pretty strong. You could probably chew it in some places. But how many of these would it take to fill up that venti at Starbucks? That's not even a venti, I don't think. Which explains our 118 freeway in the morning out here. It's a carnival ride. We're all jacked up on a lot of caffeine nowadays. By the way, Fire King cookware, very popular, very collectible today. Anchor Hawking, still in business in New York. Where did you keep your iron hot? You stepped over to the ironing board. Okay? That carried into the post-war years. A lot of early homes, I bet you've seen in movies, had a cabinet in the wall. The ironing board flipped out. And when you were done and went back into that cabinet, it was usually in the kitchen. Now let's talk about this beast right here. My dad had a rule for my brother and I growing up. His rule was, you should know what you want before you even open up the refrigerator. Okay? You heard that before? Yeah. And depending on where you lived, you may not know when the Iceman was coming for a delivery. He'd be coming down the street yelling ice. If he needed a block, he'd off a 25-pound block. Tongs, just like those. He'd put that block of ice right in there. And if there were kids around on a hot summer day, there were always ice chips for the kids to cool down. Numerous seniors have shared this with me. My pops told me they chased the ice man down the street just to get ice chips. Crazy. Hey, would you tell me what a Hoosier is, please? Other than an Indiana basketball player?
Nope.
Ah, gotcha, didn't I? Okay. Women baked everything in these days. Breads, pies, biscuits, rolls, buns, okay? I want you to imagine this filled with flour, okay? In these days, we had to sift our flour, right? Now, today we buy pre-sifted flour. Now, the folks I'm meeting up here, they're not buying into this pre-sifted flour thing. They still use one of these, right? We ate fresh in those days. In the early days, you go to the market, you were going to bring home, let's say you're going to make a meatloaf. You brought home those ingredients and you ground them up all yourself.
Yeah.
Adding up that meatloaf, we're going right into this beast here behind you. Coffee beans, we did it manually, right? Today you push a button, you got beans. Let's go back into this room and continue with some good old-fashioned history. So you had 2 bedrooms. Bedroom number 1 was right back here. Now use your imaginations. Originally, where this man standing, this was a solid wall. This would have been bedroom number 2, living space, kitchen. When the depot was moved over here, the Park District wanted a caretaker to move in to oversee safety and security, which we all understand. But we didn't need 2 bedrooms. So we created this arch, gave him a nice living space. So we turned this into a dining experience. You heard me refer to them as the glory years. Why? 30s, 40s, 50s, 75% of the people that traveled in our continent went by train. And when you stepped into that dining car and sat down, you ate off of that railroad's finest themed china. Every railroad had a different theme. You're up the Pacific Northwest on the Great Northern Railroad. You would have eaten off this beautiful pattern, the glory of the West. Santa Fe had a couple of designs. Who knows the California state flower?
Poppy.
There's their design, poppy. They service the Southwest. They had their Aztec design. And if you were here on the Southern Pacific coastline, you ate off of the Prairie Mountain wildflower design. This was a competitive business. They wanted you to come back and ride their lines. Service and detail. There was a porter with a brush and a crumb tray. You had any toast crumbs on your linen, man, he was right there to sweep them up. Come back and ride the Pennsy, New York Central, Wisconsin Central, Mopac, SP, UP, WP. We had hundreds of rails in these days. Service and detail. Look at these prices from 1952 and 1953. Always fun to compare prices.
Main course for 150.
We didn't have roads, things like that, so we have 3 scheduled stops. As time goes by and all these roads become, now these passengers don't need to ride trains anymore. And basically, again, all the railroads got out of the passenger service. Everybody's jumping in their cars now. Now, Roscoe and Laura, we've been talking about. Their shift is over, they're coming upstairs, she's getting started on the meatloaf. What's Roscoe up to? Follow me into this room, all of you.
Okay, that was so wonderful. And then there was a guy that was on the tour that had actually, he'd seen my recent episode of the National Train Show. So that was like, so special. Anyways, I have to head out to pick up a friend, a dear friend who's visiting from Germany from the airport. And I encourage you to come back to get the full experience, the full tour. The people are very nice here. It's just beautiful, this whole region. The train tracks right there. So much interesting information and so many neat things to see. And then if you come on a day when there's the swap meet as well, whew, lots of cool stuff, lots of great people. See you soon.